Yes, good morning, students, and welcome to the class of Cambridge. We have with us here Lakshmi ma'am. Good morning, Lakshmi ma'am, and a warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Good morning.
Yeah, ma'am, just I'll give a brief intro to the students about you,
Sure,
ma'am. Yeah,
sure.
yeah, Lakshmi ma'am is a co-founder and CEO of Go Huddle and head of intervention for COP Connect ISAC. Being a certified cybercrime intervention officer, she has been interventional support to numerous victims with the guidance from ISAC, a leading cybersecurity NPO. She won the Societal Impact Award from Karpagam College of Engineering and has also contributed as an expert panelist for Jagrukta series by CIET and CERT in collaboration with Amrit Vishwa Vidyapeeth. She has interviewed she was interviewed by Deakin University, Australia, where she was invited in cyberbullying focus group, which she formed from her team members in ISAC. She bagged the World Women Leadership Congress Award titled Women Leader Coimbatore and was also invited as a guest panel speaker of Trima 23, the flagship conclave of Trivandrum Management Association, graced by the Governor of Kerala, Sri Arif Mohammed, Sri Sashi Tharoor, and famous other global dignitaries. She was selected by MOD as part of Women Achievers amongst Air Force wives, along with 35 other women from services, including serving officers, and met our Honorable President of India. She is one of the few Indians who received invitation for Horace's Global Meet 23. She was one of the jury for South India's biggest management fest hosted by CUSAT. She was also the chief guest for colleges, ESELs, Rotary International, and recently was invited as the guest of honor and keynote speaker of Indraprastha International School, Dwarka. A warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Janvi, for that. And let me tell everybody that I won't be able to see the Q&A, so I would require your help, Janvi. So kindly let me know if somebody posts something because I want the session to be interactive. But then,
Sure.
yes, unmuting is not an option for you all. I do know that. And like Janvi said, I'll be your trainer for today. And the topic that we're going to cover is workplace etiquette. So before we start with workplace etiquette, I want you all to type in chat box. Now that is the medium of communication that we'll be using throughout the session. So please tell me, what do you understand by the word etiquette? So Janvi, if they are typing something, please let me know. If they're not typing anything for a few seconds, then I think we have a serious issue. I would want you people to type something. So
Sure.
please let me know, what do you mean by etiquette?
Yes, students, please do respond. According to you, what do you mean by etiquette?
I know it's morning 10 a.m. I'm in past 10 a.m. But I request you all to just move those fingers, right? Doesn't matter if it's correct or wrong. Even if it's like, little bit related to the right answer, it's fine. What matters the most is if you try or not. Now, this is an opportunity in front of you to tell the answer. All it takes is just type it. Doesn't matter if it's correct or wrong. That's something in the future. Don't bother about that. Just type it. Tell me, did somebody write something?
Yes, ma'am.
How can you tell me what?
Yeah. Shivam
Just read
says
a.
behavior.
Okay, good.
Then one says etiquette is a personal behavior of an individual.
Okay,
Someone says culture.
okay. I think
Someone
they've
says
all mixed. Right,
disciplinary
right.
behavioral action.
Exactly. Yes. So yes, these are good answers. I'm so glad that you people, you actually wrote those answers, and yes, you are actually connected with the right one. Etiquette, it means various interactions in the society. It can be, some sort of expectation from you how to behave and all. We all are human beings. We differ in terms of ideas, how we talk, how we behave. Just imagine if we are in a society or if we are in an organization and we all just, do what we wish like, and it might not even match with the organization's vision or mission, and we just go on and on. that won't be actually working out. And that is where some societal norms, some, what is it, some expectation that is already said that this is the way, if you behave, it will be good. You will be getting that positive outcome out of it. So etiquette is nothing but the social norms and expectation around how to behave, or rather a code of conduct and a structure, like mildly or subtly expected attitude, behavior, manners. Okay, so there are various kinds of etiquette, even for sending a mail, while you're having dinner on table, there is an etiquette for that. So workplace etiquette is what we'll be discussing. So we'll be learning etiquette for modern workplace, aspects of etiquette, what is global and local, and importance of cross-cultural etiquette and gender sensitivity. These crucial topics will be discussed today. So anybody want to, just guess what might be workplace etiquette? What aspect might come? Like I told you, etiquette means something good that is expected from you, like a conduct, a code of conduct, like this is the right way to do it, and it will be common to all, and when everybody follows it, the function will be smooth and there is no scope for embarrassment. So that is called as etiquette. So workplace etiquette, do you want to guess what might be workplace etiquette? I mean, some aspects of it, feel free. You have to be very quick. Janvi, let me know if they type something.
Yes, sure. So students, ma'am is asking, what do you mean by workplace etiquette?
Yes, and even if it's not the definition, you can even give me an example what you think might be a part of workplace etiquette. Like I said, code of conduct, like how one must behave to avoid embarrassment in a particular organization, or like even in society. So that way, what do you think? Like some example of workplace etiquette. That's all I'm asking. It's very simple. You already know it. You just need to type it. Again, I'm
Ma'am,
telling you, yes, ma'am, did somebody reply?
yes, ma'am. They say work ethics,
Yes, that's a crucial
following a
aspect.
dress code, following a dress
Exactly.
code. Yeah.
Perfect. So you all know these things. So we just need to, brush up a little here. Then let's see what's there. So workplace etiquette is an employability skill that reflects both your personal image and that of your companies in a positive manner. See, when you work for a company, you are rather a brand ambassador of that company. You're the face value. You go somewhere and you tell that I am from XYZ company. And then if you don't behave properly, if you don't actually follow the etiquettes, they will assume that, okay, this person is working for this company and this is how he or she behaves. Okay, then they'll try to have a picture about you and your organization. So that is why the workplaces are giving importance to etiquettes, and definitely we all should know about it. And what will it do? These workplace etiquettes will help you to avoid personal embarrassment and professional disapproval, because majority from your workplace will be adhering to the etiquette, and if you are left out, then it will be hindering your workplace performance, and it is always better to know what these things are. So etiquette is important because it will help you build a better rapport with your colleagues, your subordinates, and your clients, your boss, and it will be even helping you with quicker promotion, because if you don't follow etiquette, then definitely there will be a lot of negative outcomes. So I hope these points are clear. So let me move on. So etiquette in modern workplace. So these etiquettes, whatever you follow, what will happen is, for example, you're newly joining somewhere. What you do is you'll try to understand that organization better. It's not like without any idea, you'll just go and join an organization. You need to know where exactly the organization is situated, what is the etiquette there. If it's a creative workplace, it's a different kind of altogether the work atmosphere, the culture will be slightly different. But in corporates, it will be different. In defense, it will be different. So you need to understand which particular workplace you're a part of. And based on that, the etiquettes might vary. And definitely, if you are adhering to the etiquettes there, then you will get positive reactions from others towards you and your company as well. So the first and the basic, the most basic skill that you need to have is good manners. And that is the main thing that will make the people around you comfortable. If you're ill mannered, then that will send out a negative vibe, and it will be very difficult for people around you to adjust with you. So this sense of etiquette should be apparent in your personal, professional, and social behavior. It's not like in the movie that you've seen, right, Onion, that person will be having two different personalities. No, manners is something, good manners is something that should be inherent, that should come naturally to you. It should be reflected at your personal space, your professional, and your social behavior at workplace. Okay. So personal etiquette demands that you're always polite. I mean, you have to be polite, courteous with colleagues and clients. And only then you can expect similar behavior from them. It's like a mirror. The way you behave. If you smile, the other person will also smile. If you are polite, the other person will be polite. If you are really angry and then, just frustrated, the shouting at everybody, you cannot expect the other person to be polite with you. No, you are actually inducing someone's behavior towards you based on what you do towards them. So you have to be courteous with your colleagues. Now, courteous is all like in basic aspects. It's like most basic aspect of good etiquette, which is critical to your image. Courtesy, because it has to come effortlessly. Like I said, this is something that you cannot act. These things should be inherent in you. And professional etiquette will also help you from backbiting about your colleagues. And sorry, it will actually make you forbid those things. So these etiquettes, also the social etiquette. What will happen is, like, if you're a part of a party, and in party different kind of people come, not necessarily be from your office. They might be client, they might be from different countries. So the social etiquette, which is more a generic kind of etiquette, that will help you to have a seamless interaction with your clients, like during the office interactions and office gatherings and all. So these are the etiquettes of the modern workplace. See, these are very simple aspects. This is something that you already know. We're just just polishing it a bit here. So any doubts you have, you can feel free to just type it there. Otherwise, we can take a Q&A in the end as well. I would love if somebody just keep it interactive. That is like better way. So workplace etiquette, global and local. Global, by that, what they mean exactly is these are the personal quality that everybody around the globe is expected to possess, like the quality of courtesy, polite communication skills, presentable turnout in dressing and grooming, and the ability to build and sustain relationship. These are like global component. It's not like I'm from a particular country, I'm from a particular state. I cannot be polite. I cannot, dress properly. No, these are like global component of etiquette. You have to, have these things. These are expected. There is no excuse, no cultural excuse not to be courteous or not to be polite. And local component of etiquette is something you need to be very careful about. For example, you are like, if you go to different countries, the way you greet each other will differ. For example, in our country, we greet each other with a namaste, or we even do a handshake. But in Japan, the people will be bowing down to each other. They will be greeting that way. In Japan, if you go and then, just extend your hand for a handshake, if they're not comfortable, now that will create a cultural conflict, right? They might not be comfortable. Now they'll wonder that why is this person doing this? They're in a country. Don't they know that this is how we greet each other? So local component of etiquette, you need to be, knowing the localized culture of the place you're visiting, or the client, or your colleague, how they are, like what will make them comfortable. This extra bit of effort you need to know. And like greeting each other, one interesting case study I need to share with you all. Have you all watched, like, I think nowadays language doesn't matter and people do watch different movies. Like India is blessed with so many languages and so many film industries. So yes, Helen, Malayalam movie. So that's taken from real life. It's inspired by a real life story. In Hindi, I think it's called Millie. Might be there in Hollywood as well. But these movies, if anybody has watched, the girl was actually stuck in that cold space, right? Like freezing temperature, where the meats are stored. So there, how did she even survive? Like in the end, what was that one aspect? Can anybody, just tell it here? What saved her life? I'll just wait for a few seconds. If you have seen the movie, if you remember the crux of the movie, you should be able to answer. Now, what was that one quality that the female, that protagonist had, which helped her get out of the situation? Otherwise, she would have actually died, right? But that didn't happen. How did she get out of it? What was the climax? What was the twist in that story?
Yeah,
Can
students, please respond if you have seen that movie. Ma'am, your slide is on the first page only, no? Or have you changed it?
Oh, I've changed it multiple
No,
times. I
ma'am.
mean, it's not getting changed.
No,
Just a
ma'am. It's not
second.
getting.
Okay. I'll stop sharing and share again.
Yes, ma'am. That would be better.
So meanwhile, please try answering that question. I'll try to share my entire window. Is my windows visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when I'm playing, tell me which particular slide is visible to you?
Yeah, it's workplace etiquette, global and local.
Correct. Yeah, thank you for that. So has anybody written, or I'll just continue with the answer? No problem.
Yeah. One student says that she didn't give up. She had a hope that she will be okay.
Yes, that is there. And one very crucial point, maybe towards the end of the movie, you would have remembered that there was one watchman whom she used to
Yes.
greet every day.
Yes.
Okay,
One
so
student has mentioned the same thing, ma'am.
oh, wonderful, wonderful. So yes, see, movies also give us, some ideas like about etiquettes. That quality in that female protagonist, that heroine, was inherent. It didn't matter. It didn't matter to her whether, like, it's she didn't think it as a waste of time. Daily, she used to greet the watchman even while coming and while leaving, and that is how the watchman doubted that she never left the workplace, because she's somebody who will go to him and then greet him and then leave. Now, that polite nature of hers, that courtesy that she gave to everybody, that helped her save her life. So, that was the example that I wanted to give you. And is the next slide visible? Culture sensitivity.
Yes, ma'am. Now it's visible.
Okay, wonderful. So culture sensitivity, it's like, we have to respect people from different cultures, regions, races, nationalities, and ethnicities, gender, class. Now, that's a big, big, list. Now, what you need to understand is just treat everybody as equal, and also understand that even if we are equal, there will be difference in culture. If you might be from a particular, demography, but the other person might be from a different continent altogether, the entire culture might be like different there. So what we need to do is, you should not have prejudice against them, and you should treat them as equal, and make them feel comfortable, and also feel comfortable when you're around them. You cannot judge which culture is superior or which is inferior. Now, that is when you land on the term called as ethnocentrism. Now, ethnocentrism is the attitude. It's like, comparing each other's culture and then assessing it and then tagging one to be inferior and one to be superior. Yes, it's a shameful negation of etiquette. You cannot negate an etiquette saying that this particular person is from this country, so he or she can do this particular thing, which is not acceptable. So if people follow ethnocentrism in their workplace, it will become a dysfunctional workplace. They won't be able to work properly. So culture sensitivity should be there. Like when I used to work for a corporate, like we used to have on-site visits. I didn't go, but I do remember that we all used to get a training on culture sensitivity. If our client was in Germany, we used to learn about the culture of Germany, and then understand the Germans better. If it was in US, we did used to understand the culture sensitivity there. So it's always better to be proactive. You need to do a bit of research rather than facing embarrassment, going there and doing something that is against their culture. So following are a few instances of ethnocentrism. So if, in your workplace, if it is promoting only a certain caste, region, language, then yes, it is ethnocentrism. And then if, a particular gender, be it women or men, if they are being discriminated in terms of like when it comes to promotion or some opportunities, then yes, that ethnocentrism exists there. And people from a specific community being mocked, insensitive remarks, and all these things, if it happens, that is ethnocentrism. That comes because you're prejudiced that this particular thing, whatever I am doing, is correct because they're culturally wrong. That kind of attitude should not be there. So cross-cultural and intercultural communication can succeed. You have to be aware. Like I said, when our like team went to Germany, they actually learned the culture there. We spent hours learning it, and you need to know what is the local custom there, and you have to respect it. And just an example that is given here is in US, as you know, handshake is very common. But when the US President Obama used to visit us, he used to say namaste on arrival. Okay, so these gestures, what it'll imply is the other person who's seeing you, he or she will feel that you have researched and you have took the effort to understand them better. And that itself will, break the ice and that conversation will be smoother. And if there are any deals or something, it'll be easier for you to achieve your goals rather than, just staying cold, not knowing what the culture is, fearing to even speak to that person, thinking that he's from a foreign land, feeling uncomfortable and then making other person uncomfortable. That is not welcome. It is always better to understand culture of each other and mutually, respect it. So a certain, a couple of examples are like shown here. In Brazil, it is considered rude to leave a meeting before it's over. So, if somebody is like leaving a meeting before it's over, they'll be actually judging you for that. So in China, it's like you can adopt a Chinese name. And if you do that, the business, like if you are doing regular business with the people there, and if you adopt a Chinese name for yourself, they'll actually consider that as a commitment, a sign of commitment. And just if you gift your Chinese partner clock, it'll be considered as inauspicious. Now that is their culture. It might be acceptable. The same gift, if you give to somebody else from some other country, they might wholeheartedly, with a smile, accept it. But in certain countries, it might not be acceptable. So it is always better if you do some research based on the country you're planning to visit, based on the clients who is planning to visit you, their country, the details, and some new subordinate of yours. And in Japan, like, see, you might have seen people who exchange business card holding it in one hand and then just, offering it. No, in business, they treat it with full respect because they know that whatever is written in that business card is the result of constant hard work and perseverance. So when they offer their business card, even, we all in India also have seen when we offer the business card, they hold it with both the hands at the tip and then hand it over as if you're giving something very pious and respectful. So that is how they respect. Even while the act of giving the business card, even there you might be sensed like the way you're doing it. So in different countries, different rules, always better to research and go. So next, I'll be showing you a couple of videos as well. Okay, I mean that might help you later on. Just we'll talk about gender sensitivity. So egalitarian space is what we all dream of, where all the human beings are treated equally, irrespective of their gender or like all the other discriminating factors. So today's workplace need to be gender sensitive as well, because that will only, help people to grow. If there is any discrimination, here we are discussing about gender, but it's not just gender. There are like various factors people get discriminated, and that will affect the personal and professional growth, and in turn, the organizational growth. And it is always better to avoid these things that are hindrance to the development of the organization, to your personal development. So gender sensitivity is one such issue. And when it's not just for men to learn or just for women to learn, it's or just for others, gender to learn, but it's for everybody. Like we need to coexist, and differences at workplace is never going to serve anything good. So the communication practices as well has to be like taken into account. Some examples we are trying to give you here. For example, there was a time when these words were very common: chairman, salesman, man hour, mankind. But I'm sure you would have noted the change these days because we are trying to be gender neutral. You might have seen like so many female chairmen, so many female salesmen, or like, female like man hours because they might be they want to know the number of hours they've worked and like mankind. So these kind of words, instead of that, you can use chairperson, salesperson, person hours, and humanity. So for every word, just be sensitive before using them. So in just every time, instead of using a particular gender, if there are like a lot of women but only one man, you cannot keep on generalizing the entire conversation in terms of like her. No, you have to use his or her. We always used to include people. People need to feel included. That inclusivity is something very important in workplace. So exclusionary forms like his or her, that has to be like like you have to avoid exclusionary form like his, in like that word alone, or her. Instead, use his or her. That will be like better. And always use like other fields as well, because we need to respect the other genders. It's the world also has people other than male and female. We need to accept it. And then wherever required, if you're submitting a form, you want a form to be filled up with somebody, or you're addressing a gathering, then be just treat them inclusive. You need to add fields like other gender as well. So just there are certain gender stereotypes that are being made where people highlight certain things that is not required, especially in a workplace. For example, there's one given here: all team members and their wives are invited. No, that is not required. You can just say that all team members and their partners and spouses are invited. Can somebody tell me what is wrong with this line? All team members and their wives are invited. Quickly.
Yeah, students, please do respond.
What is wrong with the line? All team members and their wives are invited. What is the red flag that you see here? You already have the answer in front of you. I'm just spoon feeding it. It's very simple. Tell me. How many people have joined the meeting, Janvi? I can't even see that, to be honest.
Yeah, ma'am, it's 385.
385 of you, and I've asked a question. I actually expect the Q&A section, section to be bombarded with your responses. What's wrong?
Yeah, students, please do respond now.
Maybe, I'll
Yeah.
just take a few minutes to tell you something. Just an example. Like there was a soft skill session that I attended back in my college days, and my soft skill teacher, she had a tray full of chocolates, and then she came and offered it to everybody. And she said that take. Uh, she just said, yeah, you can take the chocolates. And we all were like very conscious. We just took one, and there was one boy in my class who took many. He grabbed it. Okay. And we were all staring at him, wondering, what is he doing? Why is he behaving this way? Can't he behave well? I know this is like, etiquette that we all expect, but this is a different example that I'm trying to tell you. You know what my teacher said? Listen, everybody, you were all conscious. Now, the thing that I have put in this tray, just treat this as opportunities in your life. You were all very conscious. You just picked what others might think. You were just thinking that what others might think, and you just picked one. But what did you lose? These were chocolates. You could have taken as many numbers as you want. I've told I've got plenty with me, but you still chose only one because you were wondering what others might think about you. So the boy who took many in his hand, he is now, having it. I mean, then we all felt guilty. Why didn't we take more? So, just like that, when I ask you a question, don't think that if I type an answer, my name might be visible. What will others think of me? Why do you want to bother about others? Others will speak about you only for one day or like maximum 2 days. They'll find somebody else to speak about. And being wrong, there is nothing harmful with that. That is how we all learn. Nobody was born with all the question and answers stored in their brain. And then every time when somebody asked a question, everybody typed the perfect Oxford, perfect kind of, answers. No, you are free to type, to express yourself. 385 people are here in this meeting today. And one simple question I've asked: if you are not able to answer it, even if it's right or wrong, I just want you to type. Okay, that actually is a red flag. You have to come out of this comfort zone. The world outside is very competitive. Let me tell you, if you are like, finding job, you have to come out of this comfort zone. You'll have to speak up. You'll have to respond. And that is the only way you can move forward. Trust me, the way you grab the opportunities will matter. Now, again, for the last time, I'm asking you, all team members and their wives are invited. We are talking about gender sensitivity. What do you think is wrong with the statement?
Ma'am,
Janvi,
they
did
have
somebody?
replied. Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. So, what did they say?
Ma'am, it's more gender oriented towards men. One answer is that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
I'm
they have
so
mentioned
happy.
only male employees are being asked.
Exactly. Yes, yes, yes. This is exactly the answer I was looking for. So, thank you so much for typing the answers. I hope you have motivated the rest of them who were doubtful whether to type or not. And this is the perfect answer that I was looking for. How can you imagine that all your team members are like males? What about the female members? And then just saying that all team members and their wives are invited? No, that's a wrong statement. Wives is gender specific. Partners, spouses is more, gender neutral. So, use that. So always use equal forms of address. For example, like even I'm married, but if you notice the posters that are being circulated when I do a talk, they'll be saying my name is, they'll be, addressing me as Miss Lakshmi. So they use Miss instead of Mrs. So that will be like, giving less idea to your audience. Unnecessarily, you are like giving, a lot of inputs to them. There'll be like many women who might not be married and couple of them might be married, so this sort of discrimination is not required. It's always better to address people with like equality. It's better to address them at workplace as Miss something. Avoid gender stereotypes and visuals, like if there are like presentations like just a perfect example, see here. So here in the image that we have chosen, the PPT, you can see it's both men and women. It's not like a competition. I'm not saying that equal number of men's photos should be there, equal number of women should be there. No, but make it, avoid gender stereotype. It's not a competition or like somebody's assessing it, counting it. No, but make it look like it is like you're avoiding the gender stereotypes, like manuals and all these things, the photographs. It should not reinforce gender stereotypes. You have to take care of that when you're doing a presentation, when you're doing a manual, if you're submitting something, if you are submitting, something that is asked by your client, be very conscious whether you are enforcing gender stereotypes. Now there's an important topic. See, if you are getting bored, please let me know. I'll play some videos because I've been talking for so long. And of course, human beings have got limited attention time. I really am empathetic towards you. I do understand, but I'll definitely try my best to make it interesting for you. I've got a couple of videos with me, or I wish if I could hear from you instead of, like seeing you type or just the words coming, but then let's go with the words for time being. So yes, let's discuss about the importance of grooming. So imagine you're in a classroom, okay, and like it was like you're in a you're doing some professional degree or whatever, and everybody is dressed in the same way, or it's an interview in your college. Okay, interview, campus interview, and if one person comes in like a goat kind of dressed up all with a huge, headphone is glued to his ears and all tattoos and just a sleeveless something. See, we do have freedom. It all depends where you have applied the job for. But if there was a specific dress code in that particular organization or that particular instant, you need to follow that. And especially at workplace, like I used to work with Infosys. We used to have a formal dress code from Monday to Thursday, and then on Friday it was casual. But if you wore something before, like Friday, then they used to question you because there is a setup. I mean, the way you dress and all, that's like already decided, and you have to follow it. It's like good if you are there. Why to stand apart? You can do something wonderful and then, stand apart from the rest of the crowd. But doing something silly or like, something that doesn't match with the crowd in order to stand apart doesn't make any sense. So, Grooming, the dressing and grooming is another important aspect. It's not like you're using any very costly kind of perfume, or like the attire, like your belt, the leather belt. No, nothing matters. Even if it's a simple plain dressing, the way you dress and the way you groom yourself matters a lot. So that is also an important aspect of workplace etiquette. Like I said, you are the face value of your organization. You will be the brand ambassador of your organization. The way you dress, how neatly, the cost of your dress won't matter, the cost of your shirt won't matter, but how neatly you are wearing it, that will matter a lot. And your clothes, your personal hygiene, how you carry yourself. First impression, yes, 80%, that actually matters. And you should always try to exude a positive image with your clothes and appearance. And some points why it is important, we have just given it here. So if you're particular about your appearance, a resultant assumption is that the self-care and effort can be expected of you towards your work and your surrounding. Now, this is the impression your workplace is getting from you if you are properly dressed and if you are properly groomed. They'll think that you have time to take care of yourself and you're so particular about certain things. That means you'll show the same towards your work and your surrounding. There might be exceptions, okay? I'm not talking about this being applied to 100% people around the world. There might be one or two exceptions, but let's go with the majority. So being well groomed indicates that you've taken your job seriously and you want people to think you're in good light. So if you are dressed up shabby and you're just coming to office in a very dull dressed way and all filled with these marks and it's dirty, it's not properly ironed, that might indicate things different. Now again, this all depends on your workplace, where you're working, and what is the grooming standards there. So, importance of grooming, the sartorial choices, like the cloth that you choose, it should actually, reflect good taste. Sartorial means the type of cloth, the attire that you choose. Okay, so that should reflect good taste. And like I said, doesn't matter if you're wearing 100 rupee a shirt or like you're wearing a 1,000 rupee one. It all matters how well you dress, how well you iron it, how well you wash it, and how clean it is, and how you groom yourself, how you walk. All these things matter. And if ever you're in doubt, like it's parties will be there, casual parties and even formal parties will be there. So you always need to check what kind of gathering it is and what is the dress code. Always be sure about the dress code. Trust me, let me tell you one incident. There was a party. Initially the theme was selected as Bollywood Tapori. Okay, and later on it became award night, but the one person didn't actually check whether there was any change in the theme. It was a theme party. So everybody came in, award night, and only one person came in Bollywood Tapori style. So there was a mismatch, right? And it just led to embarrassment. Who will come in dressed as a Tapori in a award function where everybody is dressed elegantly? So it is always better. If you're in doubt, it is always better to dress up conservative and avoid wearing loud or flamboyant colors or style. I mean, it's nothing but, people will be too much distracted towards you. It's good to get attraction, but do something good and get attraction rather than wearing loud makeup or some very flashy colors. You can do that, you're free to do that. Okay, your freedom, nobody's compromising it, but avoid it at the workplace. Why to invite unnecessary attentions, right? So if you're wearing shoes, then please polish it. And because I mean the dusty shoe might be a sign of working very hard. You might have overcome many hindrances, the village story and all is fine, but when you are in for a meeting, you have to, I mean, for a meeting and at your workplace or wherever it is always better to, have your hairs and nails neatly trimmed, your shoes polished. These are all basic points. Even when we were kids, I think our teachers used to tell us all these things, right? So, and also based on dress appropriately based on the seasons and the weather. Like Indian summer, you need to know what is the fabric that you need to wear. Like cotton will be preferred over polyester. And why? It's not like you don't have the freedom to wear polyester, but you perspire more in heat, and you know what will happen if you perspire more, especially at workplace. You'll know it when you stand in a lift with really crowded lift, that is where these clothing's importance is going to come. So you should look more appropriate to corporate culture. There's like, different kinds of culture. Yes, respecting everybody's culture is an important aspect, but when you're a part of corporate, you need to, look appropriate according to the corporate culture. The makeup, the jewelry, the accessories, the footwear, like the Indian soap, daily soaps, the cereals you have seen, even how they wear all those heavy makeup and then jewelry, they'll sleeve wearing it, they'll wake up wearing it. But no, you cannot dress the same way to corporate, right? There will be a dress code when you're a part of corporate, and it has to be minimal and it has to be suited to the situation or occasion. Etiquettes and interaction. Now, this is an important. I'll have to like kind of rush up now. So etiquette and interaction. Can somebody tell me what is effective communication? Quickly type. Interaction. It is a very important aspect in our life. Just imagine a world without any interaction. It would have been a boring place, right? But when you are at workplace, the etiquettes and interaction should be followed because only that will help you grow some rapport with your colleague and it will help you grow professionally. So when you are courteous and if you're confident with your peers and superiors, then that will definitely invite some positive. You will be exuding positivity. So this kind of rapport should be built and this should be like the good etiquette in communication should also be maintained. So what is effective communication? I don't know if you've typed the answers here. Since we are running short of time, let me tell you what it is. Effective communication is nothing but you are able to communicate your idea to someone and ensure that that person has understood it. That is when effective communication will happen. You cannot just throw some, really some jargons or some technically, inconceivable words and just show that you know everything or you're just superior to somebody. Effective communication won't happen there. Just be simple. The main intention is to make the person next to you understand it. That is what is going to benefit during team communication. Imagine a team of 5 people. If one or two of them uses language or uses words which is not understood by the rest of the team, do you think the team will perform better? So effective interaction, effective communication is very important. And to ensure effective communication, we need to follow etiquettes in interaction. So what is the more, foremost important one is to listen attentively when others are speaking. When somebody is speaking, now this was another activity that we had done. We were asked to, just pretend as if we are not listening to what our friend was saying. And our friends were asked to say something very one sad incident from their life. So when they were doing that, we were not listening, we were just playing around. And we later on, our friends were asked how they felt. Trust me, they felt horrible. So when we say something and the person is not listening attentively, for example, now I'm talking, if any of you are just, scrolling through your phone and not listening attentively right now, then that is not a proper etiquette in terms of interaction. Effective communication might not be happening. I might be trying to communicate an idea with you, but maybe you might not be getting it in the way that I'm trying to communicate. Effective interaction will not happen. So please listen attentively. Just a quick check, okay? You just need to type yes or no. Are you listening attentively to me right now? Quickly, type. Let me see how many responses come. I need 300 plus at least. I don't want to, this is how I'm going to count how many of you are sleeping or how many of you are watching Netflix. Come on. Janvi, tell me if there are like bombardment of messages in the Q&A session because I'm going to, check how many of you even responded to this question. It's just a plain yes or no. Are you listening attentively to the session right now? Yes or no. Just type YES, yes, or NO, no.
Yeah,
Janvi,
they have said yes. They are telling yes.
yes. How many yeses have come? Are there like you're not able to
Five,
count,
six.
or it's that's
Yeah.
it? Out of 385 people, only 5, 6 people are listening attentively. I can't believe it. Saying no also makes sense, but saying nothing means that you're not here right now. So I'll be, after this session, I'll count how many of you have said yes or no. Based on that, I'm going to, assess you. So fine. So await your turn to speak. Now, that's a very important quality that you all need to have. You need to wait for your turn to speak. Okay. I mean, if somebody is talking in between interrupting, it's not a good thing. And in some culture, that can be considered offensive. Maintain good eye contact. If you're talking to somebody, looking at their shoulder or their tummy, that's not a good thing. Looking at the ceiling or outside the window, again, not a good thing. Always maintain eye contact. That will reflect how confident you are. That's the body language. This eye contact is just one aspect. Your hand movements, everything matters. And like I said, avoid jargon and convoluted speech. And the intention is to make people understand, okay, both in digital or face to face. Social niceties, it's like, the subtle way of being nice. That is also important part of etiquette, especially when you're interacting with somebody during the business deal. And you need to observe what others are doing, like the majority, and at the workplace, because they'll be knowing better. If you're new to a workplace, observe what others are doing at the workplace. Do not follow just one person, the odd one out. Follow majority. Janvi, are the yes and no coming, or it just
Yes,
stopped
ma'am.
after five or
Ma'am.
six?
Yes, ma'am. They are coming.
Thank God. Now that was a Agni Pariksha for me, to be honest. I wanted to know how many of you are awake. So people
Many,
with
many
good
have responded with a yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank God. So, yes, thank you so much for being, attentive in the class. That matters a lot. So, people with good dining manners can win over the client. Now this is an interesting aspect. Imagine you are, having dinner with your colleague, and that other colleague is like throwing food everywhere. He's just, eating with all excitement because he found something he's very desperate to have since months, and he's doing it. He's clinging his spoons with its plate and just pushing it, and then with his hand, which is all, soiled, he's offering something to you. These are all bad manners. So dining also has got a big list of, it has got etiquette of its own. So we must know dining etiquette, email etiquette. Let me see what is the next topic. Coincidentally, it is netiquette. So yes, this netiquette is like the virtual media, how you behave there. You don't think that, you work, you swipe out, and then you leave and you're entering a different world. No, whatever you do in virtual media is also going to reflect your organization's, vision and mission. If emails always leave a trail, your digital footprint, always remember that. So it's better that you you always know what you're writing, because that is going to stay there. Even if you delete it from your space, it'll be there in somebody else's, right? So always be conscious of what you type. So be polite and professional in the language you use. There'll be a for you should be thorough with the format, and you should know whom to market. For example, you want to talk to your boss. So in the to section of the email, it should be your boss. But if you are just tagging your manager and then CCing your boss, that won't be like a good, like your head. For example, you have a delivery head, a finance head. Okay. And then you are just CCing him instead of your manager. Like you need to know whom to CC, whom to BCC, like blind carbon copy, and whom to keep in the sent list. So these are certain etiquettes that you need to follow, and using capital letters can be considered offensive in certain working community. So if somebody has sent you a mail, you read it, you liked it, or you didn't like it, but you kept quiet, that is an insult to your, the person who has sent you an email. It is always good, even if you don't have the answer, at least acknowledge it. Like I asked you a question right now, yes or no. Instead of, not saying anything, it is always better to say yes or no, or I don't know, something. At least revert something sensible within 24 hours, unless you're traveling. If you're traveling, then out of office or something, you need to, set. You cannot keep people waiting. It might, even a second is enough to get some other competitor the deal that is meant for your organization. So reverting at the correct time is very, very, important. So you must write politely in full sentences. Do not use the typical, cryptic language. I was helping a teenager write her leave application, and I had to remind her that it has to be full sentences with the grammar, the punctuation, the spelling. Hey, bro, all these kind of languages are not acceptable when you are, working somewhere. You need to follow the protocols and you need to write it in full sentence, even if it takes a few extra seconds of yours. And do not use cryptic SMS like language. Uh, ACP and like couple of FYI, all these things are acceptable. These kind of language is acceptable. The netizen language, but there are like thank you so much. I think TYSM. I don't know. I don't know these kind of things, but yeah, you are free to type something extra that these kind of things are not allowed. So emoticons or slangs are unacceptable, and use of all caps, like I said, it is offensive, and it is more like you're shouting at somebody. And sending constant mail, you say just send a mail and then you realize you forgot to attach something, and then you send another mail, you found that you sent the wrong attachment, another mail, you're spamming people people's inbox. Like when I used to work, people used to send all kinds of mail. Not everybody will be comfortable, right? And when you paste something from the internet, that will be different. Different. I mean, it will be visible in a different way. It won't look good. So when you paste something from other sources, ensure that the content is aligned properly. It looks good, and the fonts are proper. So these are netiquettes that you need to know. Oh, I can't believe this is the end of Unit 14. Let me try to show you a few videos. I'll just stop sharing. Janvi, which screen is now visible?
The team screen is visible, ma'am.
Team screen, right? Okay, let me see. All right, how many minutes we have? Just quickly, I'm going to do it. Which screen is visible now?
Now the YouTube is visible, but you have to make it full
Yeah,
screen, ma'am. Yes.
yeah, done. So this is like 5 proper workplace etiquette tips to practice for professional success. We have covered it, but still, as a brush up, I'm just giving you.
1. Shake hands with a firm grip, direct eye contact, and good posture. Be sure to stand up. It's an upstanding sign of respect. 2. Dress appropriately. Every work environment is different, and so are our unique senses of style. But consider your wardrobe an expression of how seriously you take your job. And you seriously shouldn't wear your well-loved overalls to a meeting with the CEO. 3. Ditch the digital and focus on those around you. Fiddling with technology during meetings is inconsiderate. 4. Every tweet, post, and pic you put out for the world to see reflects upon you both personally and professionally. Just something to think about before you update your status. 5. Do you remember in elementary school when we learned to treat others as you wanted to be treated? Kindness still applies. Swap that stinky tuna fish sandwich for something less aromatic that won't linger and linger and linger. Or write more thank you notes.
So that was just, to show you how this workplace etiquettes matter. Just cultural misunderstanding. One very quick one. I want you to answer what was the cultural misunderstandings at work. Okay, just a very quick video. You need to answer. What is wrong here?
Glad to meet you, Mr. Song. Please take a seat. Nice of you to come in today. Which part of China are you from? So, can you tell me something about your past work experience?
This is a truly excellent company, and I would like to work here. It seems many people like your products. I'm here to learn from your company.
Could you talk about your specialized skills and personal strengths?
I work hard and make my team proud.
Thank you, Mr. Song. It was a pleasure to meet you. I'll let you know.
So yes, can you tell me what was wrong with this thing?
Yes,
What
students,
was,
please.
yeah. Oh, wow, I can see the Q&A now. I'm so happy. So if I click on it, I don't know, I'll stop sharing. That maybe that is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now let me read what you have. I'll be counting the number of yes that has come. You better type a yes before you leave the session. That'll at least, give me, I'm going to count. Okay, there are many yeses. I'm happy. So yes, the question was in the video you saw, what was wrong? Somebody anonymous is like OTT platform is full of slang. Correct. Very correct. So did you notice that the person was asking, the interviewer was asking him which part of China he's from? That was a red flag I was expecting from you. Did you note that? Um, yes or no? Yeah, somebody typed a yes now or like guy did
Yeah,
not
now they
understand
have.
English. Yeah, correct, correct. So yes, there is an aspect that the guy did not understand English because he was answering something wrong. And the lady asking him that which part of China you are from, that was offensive. First time when you see somebody who's not from a country, don't go and ask them which part of which country they are from. They might not be from China, they might be from some other place. We cannot assume somebody with somebody's, facial features. That is cultural, insensitivity, we would call it. So any other doubt that you have? So you need to just know what is workplace etiquette and the relevance of it, the etiquette in modern workspace that we had discussed, and global and local aspect that also we discussed, and the importance of being polite. What is the importance of being courteous? These are like basic things which you manifest. It has to, just be with you always. It's not like something you fake till you make it. No, that doesn't work that way. And what else? Cultural sensitivity we discussed about. Just in cultural sensitivity, one person, if they just walk in during their festival, gives offer some sweet to his boss, next day telling him that I can't attend, this meeting. You cannot expect your boss to favor you just because you gave some sweets on your festival. So you need to be, sensitive. If you want your culture to pass on, but then don't expect any favors from your bosses. But also you remember gender sensitivity we discussed, importance of grooming we discussed, etiquettes and interaction, netiquette. Yeah, that's it. I think we covered it all. So, any doubt? Okay, so I think we have got close to 157 chats. I'm happy. I really like we got next Janvi in the next session. Is it the same crowd or it's a different crowd?
Same, ma'am, same problem.
So, people, you're supposed to answer even more effectively in the next session. The next section is about social consciousness. Very interesting one indeed. Janvi, are we supposed to give them a break or like just continue?
We can continue.
All right, so I'm supposed to share the screen, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. Is my screen visible?
Not yet, ma'am.
Oh, just a second. I've just come to the end. Oh, I haven't actually shared it. Just a second.
Yes.
Let me know when it is visible.
Yes, ma'am. It's visible now.
Okay. So this unit is about social consciousness. Okay, so quick question. What do you mean by consciousness or conscious? Come on, I need an answer. 385 of you don't think that the other person will text. I mean, just type and I can escape. I'm talking to you, the person who's thinking this way. You are supposed to type. What is conscious? Consciousness.
Ma'am, we have to wait for 2 minutes till they respond.
Acha, okay. What if somebody might have, gone for taking a break? People need break.
Yeah, but they usually don't take breaks now.
Oh,
The
they're
session is
very
ended.
hardworking. Okay, that's good.
Yes, ma'am.
I really appreciate it. I mean, 2 hours of a session without break. Kudos to you all. Clap for yourself.
Ma'am, one student has answered being aware.
Yes, the word aware, that speaks everything. So being aware, should I actually continue or just wait for 2 minutes, Janvi?
Yes, ma'am, we'll wait for 2 minutes.
Okay.
Because responding, being present at the moment,
Yes.
responsiveness to be alert.
Wonderful. People, you all are brilliant. I mean, you all know everything. I think I won't actually, need to take any great effort to teach you something. You people already know things. But yes, let's still discuss. It'll be like a brush up thing. And if you don't know something, feel free to raise your hand. I don't know if raise hand option is here, but yes, you can just drop a message in Q&A. Uh, One more thing I want to tell you. While the session, if you don't understand something, maybe for a certain reason or you missed out something, feel free to open up and ask, because this course is meant to, make you understand these soft skills. That is more important than your technical skills, because whatever you learn right now, yes, that is very important. But when you work for an organization, your soft skill is going to play a huge role. It's like the human being in you. You have to actually, follow certain things that will actually make you human. And those are the soft skills that we'll be discussing today. And one of the aspect is social consciousness. Very important aspect. Janvi, let me know when I can, continue.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so consciousness or conscious, like you all said it very correctly, it is being aware or like, responding to one's surrounding. It's like we are not machines, right? Even animals or anything with lives, they are also aware of their surroundings and they'll respond accordingly, unless we are, even robots might be, responding to the surroundings these days. But I mean, if you are an inanimate object, now that's a different thing. But if you are, when we are like humans, we have to be aware what is happening in our surrounding, and we need to just not just being aware, we need to respond to it. And social consciousness means deeply aware about the people you impact. Okay, how you impact them and how they impact you, the knowledge of that, deeply being aware about people is called social consciousness. So, let us, in this unit, we'll be understanding what is the importance of social consciousness and significance of social awareness and civic engagement, like from social consciousness to civic engagement, and the need for environmental consciousness and conservation of resources. This is a very, very crucial aspect, because no matter what problem you discuss, but unless you are socially conscious, you won't be a right fit in the society, and it won't help the society to prosper. So, yes, the same definition that we discussed. Social consciousness is an awareness and awareness of and concern for the issues that confront our society. Um, Various issues are there. Like if you just look around, I think we've just listed five here. There are numerous problems that will be existing surrounding you, and why you should be conscious about them. So, if your society is, dumped with all the problems, and do you think that there will be any progress to your society? If there is no progress in your society, how will you grow as a person, professionally or personally? So, if we are socially conscious, we will be definitely aware of these top five things at least, that is, violence and oppression of certain sections of society, dowry, female infanticide, lack of equal opportunities at work, or gender disparity at workplaces, climate change. Even there are like other aspects like poverty, everything is there. So social consciousness, what it does is it'll help us to lead more responsible lives, and it'll also let us know that if I do something, what will be the consequence of my action, how will it impact the people that surround me, how will it impact the environment around us. So that social consciousness is very important, and it is one of my favorite aspect as well. I think all of you in colleges or during your school time, if you have work experience, I'm sure there will be a lot of initiative like which surround social causes, and the happiness that you get when you do it. Trust me, that is priceless. If there is anybody in this group, 385 of you, 386 of you, if you haven't been a part of any social, aspect, social initiatives, please try to be a part of it. You'll feel so better when you become a part of such, programs. But before that, I want to ask you, I've listed like 4, 5 problems here: violence, dowry, female infanticide, lack of equal opportunities, climate change. Can you type what are the other aspects, if you think that that should have been listed here? The top ones are listed, but what, according to you, was that the topmost priority, but maybe it's not listed, but might be there in your society or some society that you know? Feel free to type it. I might not be able to read it, but we have got Janvi here to tell us what you all type. Any, I'm just checking how socially conscious you are, or leave it. I mean, if you don't get any new names, and if you think that this is what is existing in the society you live in, feel free. You should be able to open up. Not nothing specific, okay? Nothing against a political party. And I'm not asking about that, any religion, nothing like that. But in general, what is the issue that is impeding? I mean, the progress of your society. What, according to you, is existing in your society, which might need your attention or the people's attention? Can someone type that? Some issues that are in your society or in the world?
Ma'am, one student has replied caste-based discrimination.
Yes, that is there. That is the first category that is listed here: violence and oppression of certain sections of the society. And yes, in certain parts of a country itself, the way people are suffering is definitely, yeah, what you said is absolutely right. Anybody else? And such things will be avoided only when people know what are the repercussions, or like why it is wrong and why we should treat everybody the same way. And why, I mean, unless you all treat each other equally, these kind of things will exist. Like violence, definitely because of inequality, violence and oppression, inequality, dowry, why only female, again, inequality, female infanticide, focusing on particular gender, again, inequality, lack of equal opportunities at workplace. Again, this is all, connected with inequalities, with climate change. This is a collective trouble that we are causing to the nature. It's a collective thing. So yes, correct. Whoever said that, thanks for that. And taking up civic responsibility. Now, what is civic? For example, you're socially aware. I mean, your social awareness is like you're conscious. The first step was socially conscious. Now, next is first step to the road of action is socially aware. Like you know what is around you, and those around you, you're conscious about that. And civic engagement is one step ahead of it, and that will invite the right action. Okay, for example, you understood a problem, but you're aware of it, you're conscious of it. But what next? The next step is civic engagement, taking up civic responsibility. Like you will act towards it, you'll gather people, you will try to solve that issue, you'll try to do your bit. That is civic engagement. Like what it is: actively and meaningfully participating in public life of a community. Like you have to actively participate in the public life, and then constructively helping people solve their problem. That is also civic responsibility. Having the urge to make a difference in locality or town. Trust me, this is something that every one of us should have inherent. Again, this should be inherent in us, not to show, not to click photos, not to tell the world that I'm doing something great, but for that self-respect, for that, respect towards yourself, that you're doing something good, something that is not totally selfish, something for the betterment of the society, something for sustainable future. So volunteering for cleanliness drive, tree plantation, medical camps, small contribution to social or environmental cause. How many of you have already, been a part of any social activities? And if yes, how did you feel? Feel free to type it during the session, anytime before you finish the session. I would love to read how many of you here are doing some active initiatives to uplift the society around you. Trust me, there are so many groups, so many organizations that offer fellowship, that offer membership, and they are trying to collectively, in a team, they're trying to create difference, tangible difference in the society and uplift people around them. So, social intelligence. Okay, so that is like you have to make some meaningful contribution to uplift socially and economically disadvantaged group in society. And that for that there should be some concerted action as well. So social intelligence play a very crucial role in that, because your contribution to uplift the society, it matters a lot. And social intelligence, what is it? It's like the ability to get along well with others and get them to cooperate with us on a common goal. The best example that I can give you, since it's the recent one, not trying to be specific. See, all the example that I try to give you, I'm not trying to endorse or trying to, just pinpoint something, or I'm favoring something. It's just the examples that suddenly come to my mind. So I hope all of you are aware of what is going on in Kerala, the Wayanad. I mean, such a beautiful place. We are all, if before the incident, if you would have gone to the place, it's like serene and so like heaven. But everybody happily used to invest money and go there, right? For their own like merriment, or like just to take a break, people used to go there. But when Wayanad was struck with this I mean this disaster, what happened? Agony and all the cry, the plea for help, everything was happening. But we saw some heroes who took their time out from their like busy schedule, and then they ensured that they packed food for the needy ones. They got the materials, the medicines, the other items, the grocery items, and the clothes and everything for the ones in need. Trust me, I've seen how this process grew. I've seen the 2018 flood as well. So even though there will be like fight in terms of religions, politics, and everything, but when something in, you're aware that there is a call for help, everybody they unite. Nobody asks whose religion, what is their political affiliation. Nobody asks. They just see the human being who is in need. They just see the entire, village that has been wiped out, and the cry for help. They heard it. They came forward and they started helping people. It's not just one person going there. Social intelligence was playing a huge role there, because they were able to get along with others, form a group. They understood what is required, what is the call for action. They had a common goal to help out the people there, and they did that. So this kind of intelligence, I would say, weighs beyond any other form of intelligence, because this is what is going to differentiate between you as a human and you as an inanimate object. I won't compare anybody with animals, because animals will also have social intelligence, according to me, because they know how to, help out the ones in their community. They're very particular about that. So, yes, human beings, living human beings, an inanimate object, social intelligence makes the difference. If you haven't been a part of any social causes yet, please feel free to contact me. I can give you certain, ideas how you can just start with. It can be just a simple session that you take for an underprivileged school. Okay, just take a session there. I'm sure all of you are so skilled. You will have your own forte, right? Some area you're good at. You can go and take a session. If you see like a worker, some laborer, and he's struggling, and it's winter or summer or peak winter in your place, the person doesn't have a blanket, just donating one, that is also a social cause. And just you might find many of them on road, so you can convince your residents association to help them out. It's not like you have to wait for a cause to come, wait for a problem to come, wait for people to contact you. You are all leaders. I see every single one of you as leaders, and future, like I'm very sure you'll all become future leaders. But now the social intelligence plays a very crucial role, and your ability to analyze the situation and its ethical dimension. It's not like misusing it. If it's like, calling for a cause, collecting the money in its name, and then putting it in your pocket, that is not ethical. Always check for the ethical dimension and use communication as a mean to achieve cooperation from people. I've seen WhatsApp groups that is actively functioning when there is a disaster, and there are like people updating their status. They're using communication, the means of communication, to connect with people, to trigger that empathy. Empathy is very important. In life, if you don't have that empathy towards others, and if you're not mindful of your actions, life will be difficult, not just for you, but the people around you. So, those who are socially intelligent can actually involve people around them, and in, there are like various initiatives they can actually bring them. But then, also understand one thing. We have spoken about workplace etiquettes, and yeah, people are different. Certain people might not, they might have certain disability. I won't call it as a disability. They'll be highly abled in other aspects. But if they are not comfortable to be a part of something, you cannot force anybody. Some might not be able to, socially understand things, might be too much involved in their own work, might not do it purposely. So you have to be mindful, do not be judgmental towards others. If somebody is behaving differently from what you expect them to do not judge them. You are socially intelligent, just step up one bit higher and give people freedom without judging them. So if you will have people of your wavelength, just involve them for these kind of activity and be happy at the end result. Trust me. Social inclusion. Now, this is the definition that is given by the World Bank. Social inclusion is the process of improving the terms on which individuals and groups take part in society, improving the ability, opportunity, and dignity of those disadvantaged on the basis of their identity. See, social inclusion is very important. Like if there is an opportunity, you will say that only XYZ can be a part of it, but not ABC, because they are from a different section, they're from a different religion, they're from a different gender. No, that is not acceptable. Social inclusion is like, that is the only way your society will prosper. And social exclusion in India, the major aspect, like I think one of the candidate has already told that, is mainly done on the basis of caste and untouchability. But yes, a lot of changes have happened these days, and people are prospering, but it is not true in all the regions. The same thing might be persisting in other regions as well. So there are initiatives taken by individual activists that were like, this is just a one example. And social exclusion, to eliminate it, many people, many activists are trying hard, and these activists also need your backing. Like if in your society, if you see somebody who is not being offered water, they cannot touch the glass. No, that is social exclusion. If there was a function and somebody is asked to sit aloof, not just based on caste and untouchability, I've seen this based on their financial aspect as well, how poor they are. If they are working at some place, if they're cleaning some place, they won't be actually allowed to be a part of that particular gathering. They'll be asked to just step aside. So all these kinds of discrimination are horrible. We're not supposed to be a part of it. We're not supposed to endorse it. If you're saying it, you should understand that unlike what used to happen in the past, because of lack of education, now we are all educated. We should understand that everybody is equal, and we should not discriminate people based on their caste, based on their religion, based on their financial background, and based on the job that you do. We should respect every single job. But that's a very important aspect that you need to remember. And such initiative needs proper backing. True. Social entrepreneurship. Now, that's a very interesting thing, because I happened to attend last year the Trima. I was one of the speakers there, and it was in Trivandrum. Like I think Janvi had told that, right? And the theme was prosperity beyond profit. We human beings, just to keep in pace with this modern world, what we do is like we'll be in that rat race. We want profit, we want money, and we become so blind that we don't know what our actions might be causing, the damage that our actions will be causing to our own self and to our society. But social entrepreneurship is a very interesting concept, because here people will be like having creative ideas and solution to the problems in the society which requires immediate attention. Now, these people, they're also entrepreneurs, but they will be, attentive towards problems that are existing in society, and their enterprise will be providing solutions to those problems. They won't be focusing mainly on the profit, but yes, they will be trying to generate money and all, but the profit won't be their motto. It will be prosperity. Okay, beyond profit. Now that's Japanese model that was introduced in Kerala at that time. Japanese 5.0, 4.0. I mean, they have got industry 4.0, 5.0. There are like various versions. And if you just try to, research on that, you'll understand in all the industry 4.0 and like the latest one, and even the Japanese model and the Kerala Trivandrum model, all the model, they are focusing on prosperity beyond profit. They're focusing on personal welfare of the people and then the society, because as you all know, AI is taking over, the technology is taking over. It is harming. See, a lot of good things are there, acceptable, but it is also harming many sections in many ways. And unless we consider the impact on human beings, like how technology might be affecting human beings, instead of just blindly focusing on profit, only then, we'll be prospering. So, yes, it's like this social entrepreneurship. They won't wait for the government. It's not government's headache. They are the ones who will understand that they need to take some responsibility instead of waiting for the government to do it. We all do that, right? We have voted them, so let them do their job. How dare they? Why are they not doing their job properly? Certain section will be there to complain, but these are the people who will find solution instead of waiting for somebody else to do it. So be it like government, business sector, social entrepreneurship, they what they do is they'll bring change in the system. They'll actually, work on the solution, and they are capable to attract a big crowd, and they'll present the problem in front of them, and those people will also take the ownership of the problem. And the ideas that they generate will be like user friendly and ethical, and it will harness the power of local change makers. Like the entire, that local change makers will form a team together, and they'll meaningfully, contribute to the society. I've got an interesting video as well. I'll be showing that to you. So Ashoka Foundation is a famous one. It was formed in 1918, and there, it was formed by, I think, Bill Drayton. Yes. So this particular foundation, the main idea is that, just, it's so beautiful. Just listen to this carefully. Ashoka Foundation's main idea, the founder's main idea, was that most powerful force for good in the world is a social enterprise, and a person who is driven by an innovative idea that can solve global problems. So this particular idea was what led to the formation of Ashoka Foundation. And they gave fellowship, they gave monetary support for many volunteers, for many social entrepreneurs. And what happened? Our Kailash Satyarthi, somebody whom we are proud of, he was one of Ashoka's, one of the fellows, one of the Indian fellows from Ashoka Foundation. And what did he do? He was a crusader against child labor, but he started this based on one experience that he had as a child, and he started this enterprise. And look what happened. He won Nobel Peace Prize jointly with global child rights activist Malala Yousafzai. So I'll show you that video soon. Remind me if I just miss it out. Coming to environmental consciousness. Now, I've seen many people who come and tell that global warming, ozone layer depletion, this particular thing is causing everything, but they'll be the same one who will be using a car just to commute from one place to another instead of cycle or like public transportation. They'll keep the AC on and then they'll complain. We'll be like contributing to the destruction of the environment, but we'll be again shouting for like, solution. No, but here we are talking about some environmental consciousness. Understand what is the action from your side. Understand what is the, effect of your action. And this should be like environment and climate change should be a part of development policy of any country. Even in our country, as you know, this policy was like well taken care of, and we are now, even though, yes, the electric cars and all, I'm nobody to comment on it. There are like a lot of changes, but sustainable solution is something we need to look for. And yes, people are working on that. So some of the environmental concerns are deforestation. Oh my God, trust me, I used to live in a place which was very beautiful, very nice weather and climate, and the deforestation started. A lot of neem trees were there. I wouldn't mention the place. A lot of neem trees were there. Slowly it started, the numbers started going down. And as a result, the summers, it was too hot. Winters, it was cold. And things started changing. The rain, the wind, everything started changing. Who did it? We humans did it. And since it's deforestation, let me also tell you there is an interesting concept called this Miyawaki. Miyawaki foresting, and it's a Japanese technology again. And that is also introduced as a counter thing for deforestation, because one tree, it's easy to cut them down. And to grow one, it takes time, right? There are a lot of ways. If you can even transplant the entire tree to another location, but people are in a hurry to just cut it. So soil erosion, all these things are done for human greed, and ultimately humans suffer. Like, for example, even the case of Wayanad, it was a very sensitive area, but then, the growth, I mean, the kind of habitation that was there, that was not allowed. So what we do is, like, we humans don't actually listen to what the nature says. And the reverse direction was all reversed. I'm not very sure about it, but then you can research. We try to tamper the nature, and later the nature tampers the lives. Nature doesn't do it purposely. Nature has to survive, because only that way the living beings will survive, right? So deforestation, soil erosion and degradation, that is harming the farmer's life as well. So depletion of vegetative cover, ill-planned mining and ill-conceived development project leading to destruction of habitats. Trust me, the process of this quarry, all in those sensitive lands, leads to so many natural disasters. People do that out of greed, but then everybody suffers. Overexploitation and resultant loss of habitat. Uh, People complain that snakes are coming, or, like, we they spotted wild animals, they should be shooted. But do we ever think that we are actually living in their space as well? It was once a forest before you found your building, before you inaugurated, or had a housewarming. It was a home to many other living beings. So we are exploiting, to be honest, somebody else's, habitat. We exploited it, and extinction of various plants, animals, and microbial species. Now, human being is one such selfish being, I would call ourselves, that we are focusing too much on our prosperity, that we want modern, structures and everything and all the facilities at the fingertip. But at what cost? We're forgetting that. Poaching and illegal trade of wildlife product, poaching and illegal trade, and imagine, just for the sake of entertainment, still practiced. I think there are famous actors who have gone to jail, but uh, adverse effect on biodiversity. Just imagine, the endangered species will be put at risk of extinction if such things continue. It might be just for an ivory, I mean, elephants, or like the crocodile, just for their skin, the leather. We are doing it for our own purpose. But then when it comes to wildlife, if you're doing all these things, this will affect the biodiversity. Again, nobody will realize it now, but something major, when it strikes, everybody, they unite together, fight against it, but they forget what caused it. So all the policy and initiatives are in place. It's up to us. Like, we as an individual shouldn't wait for anybody to come to us and remind us. We should make up our mind and commit our energy towards preserving the resources that we have at our disposal. As you all know, the resources are at the verge of, yeah, it is also overly exploited. We need to find alternate natural resources. All these things you've learned in school, I know that, but it is not just some words that were printed in your textbook. These calls for action. Now it's the time. Now you're all, in a position, you'll be soon employed, or maybe you're already working, I don't know that. But be aware, be environmental conscious as well. So it's not anybody's job. It's not like somebody a part of, environmental club should be doing it. You are a part of that big club called as Earth, the green Earth. And you and I, we are all equally responsible for whatever is happening around. And we have to take that, account. We have to feel accountable. And sustainable development and conservation of resources. What is sustainable development? So developments are there, but it should not, compromise the ability of future generations to meet their own need. Like, we are exploiting water and we are just wasting it. Imagine in future, if I don't know how many of you saw the Kalki movie. That's definitely not real, but still, just an example I'm giving you. So today, we are all happy, we get what we want. But have you thought about the future generation? Will they get what they want? Will they be, getting all the resources which is required for sustaining life? So sustainable development is something you should think of. Sustainable development will improve the quality of human life within the limitations of global environment. That will improve the quality of human life. Now, say somebody thought about sustainable development decades back. That is why we are getting to enjoy all these resources. But if we just compromise and just selfishly exploit everything, our future generation will be cursing us. So, reduce, reuse, and recycle is a very important concept. Just stick to that and understand the organization that is working for it. I could, conduct a session with Medha Bhatt, who is, I think, founder of First Floor. And trust me, the work that is done by her is beautiful. What they do is all the waste items that is around us, they used to create very useful items out of it and sell it. Like, for example, if you want to do something like that sustainable, you might be throwing plastic bottles, right? You can actually use something out of it, or at least use it for recycling. Give it for recycling. If it's a glass bottle, you can paint on it. And if it's a waste cloth, now sustainable fashion is also on trend right now. I mean, it's trending a lot. People, they just throw away their old clothes. They can do is, and they just keep on purchasing new ones. As you know, in Infosys CEOs, Sudha Murthy, she hasn't actually purchased a new sari or like new attire in decades. She is still, using the same thing that is being gifted, or somebody, when they gift it to her, she uses it, but she stopped purchasing it. Now, that's such a beautiful example, such a billionaire, but still, they're so down to earth. Who are they trying to prove by wearing all this Gucci and, Armani kind of thing? No, they're not doing it, right? They don't need to prove who they are. Nothing defines your metal, your skill, based on what you, I mean, I know I just took workplace etiquettes and all little before, but what I'm trying to tell is when it comes to sustainable fashion, it doesn't matter. It might be an old sari, it might be an old shirt, but the old sari can, convert it into a salwar or a gown. That is what you call as sustainable fashion. The shirt might convert it into something else, a pillow cover or something. You never know, right? So you need to explore in what way you can reduce and reuse and recycle. Now that is the mantra for going green. A lot of way you can help. If you are like, commuting, you can commute together, instead of, owning vehicle, five people coming by five different car from the same area to the same college. You can actually travel together. Now that will reduce the carbon footprint. So sustainable development and conservation of resources, that's like the next point. It's like finding solution for human welfare without degrading the environment or affecting the well-being of people. That's an important point. Renewing the precious natural resources. Like, you should give some time for the natural resources to renew itself. Keeping on exploiting it and then, emptying it one day is not going to help. At individual level, what we can do is like we can have a right lifestyle. We can, like, turning off, for example, small changes from your side can create huge differences. Right now you're sitting in a room, right? Tell me, if the rest of the rooms which is unoccupied, are the lights and fans on there? Do you care? Do you care about, the excess use of electricity? Trust me, if you come to my place where I am residing, we are like, the electricity bill is so high that we are all forced to do that. But trust me, even before that, we used to do it. We were a part of initiatives under World Economic Forum and all, where we used to get into going green. I mean, living the lifestyle which is like good for the society and then enforcing it. We used to do that. Filter water, just another example. You use filter water in an area where there is no hard water, like in Kerala or like, other places where there is like portable drinking water readily available in the tap. But if you're using RO unnecessarily, the wastage of water will be very high. RO will be used where the TDS level of water is like more, where the salt content is more. But people will, without any knowledge, use RO thinking that that is purifying something. That's just the reverse osmosis, right? It's just getting the salts out. But if the salts are already low and then unnecessarily doing this RO thing will only waste water. Uh, I wish I could give you an assignment or something. Just think of ways you can, conserve the resources, be it the solar or the wind or whatever it is, or saving water. try thinking what actions you can do. I'm not asking you to call out a very big meeting with the entire society. No, it can be one small action. Please do that for me today. At least we are covering this topic while brushing, keeping the tap on throughout while you see your beautiful teeth in the mirror. No, that's not required. You can just turn off the tap, right? What's the harm? You just need to turn it on again when you want to rinse your mouth. Small actions, but big. There is a leaking tap in your house. Fix it. Who are you waiting for? So these things you need to, take care of. Oh, wow. That's the end. But let me play the video for you. Let me see the time as well. We have ample time. Um, I'll just stop sharing this screen now. Is my screen full screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hopes, no?
Yeah. Yes, yes. So, the candidates, please, listen to this video. Please watch this one. It's from like it's about social entrepreneurship, and it's something, like I said, social entrepreneurship. They focus on a problem that is existing in a country, and they will try to find a solution to it. So, one such social entrepreneur, she is Yogita Agrawal. So, please listen.
Hi, my name is Yogita Agrawal. I am 23 years old and I started SoapN a year ago along with two of my best friends from college. We came across some really scary stats that 1.5 million children under the age of 5 die each year due to infectious illnesses, which can be prevented just by hand washing. We learned that children don't necessarily like washing their hands with soap, but they just love drawing on their hands. So with SoapN, kids can simply draw on their hands, marking all the areas that need to be cleaned. And when they wet and rub the drawing, it lathers. Because they enjoy the activity so much, it turns hand washing into a habit. They inherently just follow this 7 steps of hand washing. So we no longer have to like teach them and like nag them to wash their hands. Instead, they look forward to it. Parents have been super receptive to SoapN to the point that we actually had to start retailing the soap even earlier than we thought we would. A lot of parents buy SoapN to place it in their own bag to use it on the go and when they're traveling. It's pretty unusual for 3 young women entrepreneurs to get together for an Indian startup. But I think one of the key factors that helped us put together this company was the support from our respective families. And unlike the usual notion that you might be looked down upon being a woman entrepreneur or you might face a few more hurdles, we haven't had that problem. People have actually been extremely supportive of our startup and of the idea. Problem with working in the social impact space is that sometimes the issues are so daunting and the stats are so horrifying that we step back and we're like, I don't think I can do anything about this. But if you have an idea and if there is even just a 1% chance that it might work, you should prototype it, check it, get feedback on it, because you might not know that how effective this idea might be.
All right, so this was one video where you can clearly see what the social entrepreneur was trying to tell you. She feared, like, if the issue is that daunting, you'll think that what if I might not be able to successfully do it. But still, she said that if there is 1% chance of doing it, just go for it. That is why I was telling you, see, if there is 1% chance for you to type correct answer, just type it, irrespective of, thinking of the future consequences. Remove that, like Mountain Dew, right? Dar ke aage jeet hai. Even if you're afraid of something, just try doing it. I mean, if the result is going to be good, even if there is 1% chance, please do it. So there is another video that I want to show you that is like we discussed about Kailash Satyarthi, right? Nobel Award winner. So just a second. Nobel Prize. Just So this is to show you how an incident, it's like not everybody, like Apple fell down for Newton to find out those laws. So some things in our life, it triggers us. Maybe you're ignoring it so far. Now, the main purpose of this session is to just, wake up or may wake you up and make you understand that yes, you too can create that difference in the society, irrespective of your age. Doesn't matter how old you are, too young, too old, gender, nothing matters here. Anybody, like she was talking about the women entrepreneur thing, right? She's doing it so brilliantly, and despite being judged, she was able to overcome it, and she received all the support. So that inhibition that was there in her, whether I'll be able to do it or not, look, she proved herself wrong, and she's doing brilliantly now. So similarly, in your life, certain incidents might trigger you to do something in your life, and similarly, it happened in Kailash Satyarthi's life, and let me show you that video now.
When I was 5 years old, the very first day of my schooling was the first spark in my life to understand this issue without knowing anything else. I saw a cobbler boy sitting outside my school gate at the doorstep along with his father. And both of them were polishing and repairing shoes for the children like us. I asked to my teacher and later on to my parents and family members that why a child sits outside to work and not with the rest of us in the classroom. The answer was similar from everyone. That oh, they are poor children. They are supposed to work and help the families. But every morning and afternoon, I saw that child under the open sky, and that made me very angry from inside and pain. So one day I gathered my courage and asked to this boy and his father. The man answered. He said, "Sir, I never thought about it. My grandparents, my father, and I started business with children. And so is my son," he said. And that made me very upset. And angry, I started crying. When this man said that, "Sir, you are bound to go to school, but we are bound to work." And that gave me a different perspective of life. And I refused to accept. Some children are born to give freedom, childhood, education, and the future. And I still refuse to accept any argument which promotes, encourages, or perpetuates child labor.
I'll just stop sharing the screen. I hope the video did make sense to you all. Just a second. I hope I've stopped sharing the screen, right? Am I
Yes, ma'am.
audible? Yeah,
Yes,
just a
ma'am. Yes.
Yes, so let me just see if there was anything in the chat box here. So what I'm trying to imply is both the social entrepreneurs, what they did here, they understood a problem that is existing in their society. Like the Yogita, in the case of Yogita, she saw that 5 million children, they die below the age of 5 because of like diseases which could have been prevented just with a hand wash. And she knew, she understood what is the right way to even attract the target audience, because she knew that the problem is children find it difficult to use soap and wash it. So she got creative here. She found soap pen, which is in the shape of a pen, and it actually dispenses soap. So creative solution, right? And in case of Kailash Satyarthi, he was overwhelmed by what he went through when he was a child, and he didn't give up. He didn't actually listen to the answer that was told to him, that no, they're poor, they're meant to work and earn for their family. If this is the thought process that should be enforced, just imagine we would have lost gems like our Abdul Kalam ji. I mean, Dr. Abdul Kalam, such a a gem. And how, despite his poverty, despite all the hurdles he faced, he was encouraged by his society, he was encouraged by his teacher and his parents. So that is how we got our missile man. Nobody succumbed to poverty, and the people who succumbed to poverty, what if there were like many more Abdul Kalams? we might have already lost. So when you go to a restaurant, when you go somewhere, if you see something wrong that is happening, if a child is coming and offering you a tea, ask him or her what is their age. Okay, so that way you're socially aware, you're socially conscious. Do not think that there will be somebody else who might ask and save their life. Why not you? The change might begin with your action, and your inactivity, your insensitivity, and your lack of concern might actually ruin someone else's life, and your one action might save someone else's life. Trust me, I've started many initiatives based on the problems that were in the surrounding. Like this case of Kailash Satyarthi, we also started an initiative called as School Chale Hum, because in Delhi, especially the workers' kids, they're not sent to school. These workers, they take holiday and they'll send the children to work in others places. That's not good. How can we make a child below the age of 15 work for you? That's a crime. As per Right to Education Act, everybody in that age group, they're supposed to be sent to school. Education is free. These people they don't know it. I actually contacted the government schools here in Delhi. I had to fight for it because they were not offering them the admission. They had to get the Aadhaar card, everything. Now the process is going on. But the happiness, daily morning when I go to bus stop, I took session for these children a few months back on soft skill again. And the happiness, every morning when I walk, I see those children going to school, a government school nearby. They all say, "Good morning, ma'am," to me, and they say hi, and they ask me, "How are you?" So that way, the happiness, it is not something that you can buy from money. When you're socially conscious, when that leads to civic engagement, trust me, the end result is something that no money can buy. And that will be something that you can carry and that will mold you into a better person. And in workplace, that is very much necessary as well. A socially aware person will be definitely valued by his teammate because the person who cares for what is around him, he will definitely be an asset to his organization. So there were like other problems as well. People don't know that cigarette butts are the largest contributor of plastic. So there was one person who found out a solution for that. He used to make stuffings for stuffed toys out of these cigarette butts. He used to pay people who used to send the cigarette butts, and then milk packet recycling, lot of things. Just talk to your residents association, talk to your college. Do you have a Go Green club in your college? Do you have a Go Green, initiative in your organization or your residents association? You can start something today, and I would love to know the details from you later regarding the same. And I am there in LinkedIn as well. Feel free to connect. I don't know if that particular part is already covered. I think that will be covered in your interview skills as well. So just before we before you attend the session tomorrow, I want you all to create a LinkedIn profile. Now that's a very important thing. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, create one. That is going to benefit you a lot. I think somebody might have handled the resume session and all for you, right? Have one. Why? The reason why I'm telling you is based on your area of interest, you can start sending requests to them. Like if it's social consciousness, like there are like many social entrepreneurs who will be there in LinkedIn, genuine profiles, send it to them and send requests to them, stay connected, see their updates, what they're doing. And even otherwise, the workplace also, like the place where you want to apply jobs. Trust me, it's not just a resume people see anymore. They also see the, your LinkedIn profile. That speaks a lot. So having a good profile will help you. So please have one before, the session tomorrow. And any questions? Yeah, somebody has said that use water in bucket with bore water instead of tap water for washing cars or two-wheelers. Yes, and in Delhi, due to scarcity of water, they stopped all the water washes and they made it that dry wash instead. Old clothes for industrial use, brilliant. See, all your names are coming as anonymous to me. I don't know if anybody has even typed their name. Oh, yeah, you have the option, but then I don't know if it's the same anonymous person with all these brilliant ideas, or these are like different people who use this anonymous option. Feel free to even tell your name. I would love to call you by your name. So bits can be used for making soap solutions. Yes, correct. Tumbler instead of, yeah, beautiful ideas coming from you. And yes, RS Tsunami, correct. And yeah, a lot of, organizations, they are helping out and voicing your opinion on social issues. So Bhavya has said that me and my family donate clothes to the poor people sitting outside the temples, gurudwaras, and we also feed them. That's a beautiful act. Lovely. And that's very inspiring. Yes, you have to do it. I mean, I'm very sure the feeling that you get doing all these things is like, you won't be able to explain them. But be socially conscious. Like I've seen again in front of temple, one girl was sitting, she was not begging and she was not asking for food or water. It was summer, peak summertime. The girl was sweating, but we understood that she was in need of water. These kind of consciousness will help you to help out others. And none of your acts go waste. Don't expect anything in return when you're doing a socially good cause. Just do the cause and forget the returns. Let it come when it wants to, or let it not come, doesn't matter. Do good deeds without any misintention. I mean, any bad intentions. So, any other, kind of goal that you have in your mind and then doing it doesn't look good. Do it genuinely. That is better. Ma'am, what is your name on LinkedIn profile? Oh, wow. Thanks for asking. My name is not even displayed here. My name is Lakshmi Mini. Lakshmi Mini. Janvi, can I type my name here? I mean, should I use this make announcement
Yes,
thing?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can
Okay,
do
I'm
that.
new to this uh,
Yeah,
team.
you can make an announcement. You can type it and
Yes,
make an
so
announcement.
you can,
Students will be able to do it.
Lakshmi Mini is my name. Feel free to connect with me. Would love to connect with you all, guide you. The session doesn't end just in 2 hours. It's a lifelong, connection. My students, whenever I take soft skill session for them, they're all connected with me. If you have any issues in future as well, you're always free to connect. Each of you, we, the trainers, would love to see you reach great positions and, achieve the best. It's not like we are going to assess you in terms of your professional success, but if you're happy in your life, in your professional or personal life, that is the biggest achievement. You're doing a job that you're passionate about and you're happy in your workplace. That matters more than the number of promotions that you've achieved. And all these things, just try to understand what is the real happiness quotient. I just as an assignment, you can even watch this movie, Pursuit of Happiness. And there are like a couple of other movies as well which will talk about workplace etiquettes and also about what to say, I mean, social consciousness. Please watch them. I'm a movie fan, so I learn from movies as well, not the one with bad messages and all, but if they're a good one, something inspiring, you can watch. And that culture insensitivity we spoke about gender. We might have missed about one very crucial point, that is like how we treat our colleagues who are differently abled, who might be in autism spectrum, who might be having some illness, or they might be differently abled. We call them differently abled because they might be talented in some other way, which we might not be. And only one issue that is prominent, we will be like, focusing on that. So always respect. I don't know if you've watched the movie Shrikant. He cannot, his vision was compromised, but still he became an award-winning CEO, right? So nothing is possible. It is us who is disabled if we are seeing only disability in others. So at workplace, if somebody is coming in wheelchair, don't go and show sympathy towards them just because you are told to be empathetic. No, they don't want anybody's sympathy. They're all human beings. They're doing, work brilliantly, just like you and I. So we should not feel, I mean, just finding out just the prominent something. We might be having our own flaws. Okay, just imagine if somebody is coming to us and highlighting it. Similarly, everybody will have their own, disability. So respect that, and then do not go and poke into their personal life. No, people won't like it. They would rather want you to treat them with respect and treat them as your equal without any sympathy. That's one thing that you need to learn even at workplace. And also, at workplace etiquette, you should be aware of one's struggle as well. At times, people will be going through certain struggles. So, at workplace, not everybody will be able to perform the rat race the way the society expect. Some might be having some hurdles. So having some consideration, some empathy towards them won't harm your success. Ultimately, in workplace, I've noted one thing. competition is not going to help you anywhere. It's like, as a team, you need to function. Only then you can achieve your organizational goals. In order to show off that one from the team, that's me, I am the best performing one, undermining the capabilities of others, not letting others function properly. No, you might achieve some quick success temporarily, but in the long run, it is going to hamper you. That also please keep in mind. And anything else, feel free to ask me. Um, Janvi, do they have a provision to ask Q&A later on to a trainer? Some mail ID, some general mail IDs there where they can put questions and all?
They can ask in the query to the skill training mail ID. That's it. Nothing else, ma'am.
Okay. The skill training mail ID, please, if you have any concern, if you didn't understand any point, if you feel that something is being missed out, please feel free to ask us. We're always there to guide you. So,
Ma'am, and here
anyway,
also they can ask if they have any queries. We can take it up later on. Not an issue.
yeah, sure, sure. So 305, so almost 80 people have left the meeting. So that this usually happens, or was it like they didn't
Yes,
understand
ma'am. It
something and they
happens.
left?
It happens. It happens.
Okay, fine. So I was actually doubting my own skills here. Okay, so why you are not? I mean, just a second. I'm not able to see the rest of the things. I mean, just a second. Most recent, yeah. I think people have given me the thumbs up. So any other question? I would love if you people ask me questions. I can't see questions anywhere. Janvi, did they ask something and I'm not able to see it?
One, I think so, question was there.
Okay. Oh, I'm
What
watching the
is
wrong
what?
window.
No, it's fine because it is in between. Na? That's why the question was
Okay.
many answers that come. One question is, what do you mean by jargon speech?
Jargons are like, the terms which people might not understand. For example, if you're a very technical person, and if you're, for example, a software engineer, and you're talking to a person who is not a software engineer, and you'll go and talk, you'll use terms like Java, backup, cloud computing. See, these might be a jargon for them. So technically, they won't understand it. So keep your speech simple. Do not use jargons which you and somebody who is having your skill might understand, but not the rest. So, as per definitions, jargons actually mean that these are like special words or like expressions. Like I said, software engineers, they use the words like Java, Microsoft, SharePoint, all these things, right? But it's a jargon for others. They might not be able to understand it. So avoid jargons. Oh, somebody said that the session was wonderful. Thank you. Valare Nandi. Okay, I think it's Malayalam. It's Nandi then. So wonderful. I know a couple of languages like Tamil, Hindi, Malayalam, and I love learning new languages. I think at 12 o'clock the session will end, but before that, bye. And it was nice interacting with you all. Even through words, you were able to communicate it much better. Thank you so much for making this 2 hours really useful for you as well as for me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. It was a wonderful session. I think so students have understood it in a better way.
Oh,
So,
yeah, thanks. Thank you so much for that.
yeah. Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, students. Now we'll take a short break and we'll be back at 1 p.m. for the next session of Cambridge. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.